Okay. Before we start, I wanted to apologise for 3 things. The first of which is that I'm not uploading regularly, and that's because work is screwing me over with my hours at the moment. So I'm seeming to work a lot more than I actually wanted to, and I'm finding myself a lot busier to edit. And also, I mean, I'm learning a lot of After Effects stuff, and that's taking a lot of time as well. The second apology is for the fact that this video is late, and, as I said, I couldn't really help it. I have been quite busy lately to edit videos, and editing takes a lot of time, out of my day. So obviously I can't dedicate enough time to it at the moment. And the third apology is for the video itself. Now, there was a few problems. The problems being that no one recorded the first 5 minutes of the game, or the last 10 minutes of the game, and a lot of the footage isn't the best. But obviously this is my channel, so we'll try and make the most out of a bad situation. But as you can see in the background, the team sheet is being announced, and we were playing in a 4-2-3-1 formation again. Badger making his return to the team. Now, he signed for us quite a few months ago, only played 1 game, and then disappeared off the face of the earth. But he did return this week to play behind Chris up front. And we had a new signing on the bench, Miles, and obviously the chairman was quite kind to us in the January transfer window and allowed us to bring in another player, which I think makes our squad size quite big for Sunday League now. But this week we're playing Aperfield Athletic at home in the County Cup 4th round, and this was a team that have been playing pretty well in their division, although I have heard that the rest of the teams in their league aren't brilliant. But this is information from my teammates, not me. I'm not like spreading shit now. So as I said in the intro, we did miss the first 5 minutes of the game, but I mean, we did miss the fact that I made 18 saves, scored a hat-trick, and then performed a magic trick for the Queen. But obviously it wasn't on camera, so it doesn't technically count. So soon after the camera started recording, they did get a free kick on the edge of the box, and then number 14 stepped up to take it, and unfortunately for him, put it wide. Now, I mean, I didn't actually expect this at the start of the game. I was thinking, oh, they're going to get a few chances, and then that's probably it. That's not really how the game went. Bear in mind that we haven't actually played for 2 weeks because of frozen pitches, and we were actually meant to play this team last week. So I felt like there was a little bit of rustiness in the team, maybe. And it did show because they then got another chance in the box this time, and it did fall to the number 14 again, but he shot wide. And at this point in the game, I was thinking to myself, I could be in for a tough game here. My goalkeeping prowess then came out of the fore again, as I failed to claim this cross under no pressure whatsoever. The frustration in both teams were ever increasing, and their right back managed to get booked. It's the first time I've actually seen a player booked for a tackle in Sunday League for about 4 years now. So we had our first venture into the box, which was caught by the camera. I said which was caught by the camera. Thank you. But yeah, it only came to a corner, and unfortunately that corner didn't come to anything. So, I mean, yeah, back to normality then. I was then forced to make a save with a shot that went straight at me. So as I was preparing to take this goal kick, I thought of a very funny tweet which I wanted to tweet out until I realised that I'm not actually allowed to tweet until the 28th of February. So that kind of put me off. Then left mid and then escaped from 2 of our defenders and found himself one-on-one with me, but under pressure from Julian, he then managed to only scuff his shot, and I managed to save it and push it wide. And to be fair, we should have been losing at this point of the game. But that brought it to half time, and in my honest opinion, after watching that first half, I did think that we were lucky to have nil. But after a 5-minute break on the sideline, Aperfield then kicked us off for the second half. Jamie then performed one of the biggest transformations in second half Sunday League football history by turning from a left back into Messi, and then turning from Messi into Fernando Torres at Chelsea. And from that chance, we were punished a minute later, and Aperfield managed to take the lead, and their left mid once again escaped down the left hand side, put a cross into the box which their striker headed back for their number 14 to head straight past me. And considering how well I played in the first half, this was a very annoying goal to concede. I genuinely look like the man who's just lost his accumulator to a 92nd minute equaliser. And I think the goal threw us off a bit because they ran through again only a minute later, but fortunately I was alert enough to get the loose ball and take out the striker in the process. We then managed to win a penalty a few minutes later, and Badger controlled the ball in the box and was then felled by the defender, and from my view he looked like he was tackled. According to the defenders, he dived. So, I mean, you can make your own assumptions from that. But as reliable as ever, Chris stepped up to take the penalty and put it in the bottom right corner to make it 1-1, and maybe gave us a foothold into the game again. And then Chris found himself into the box, but he had his shot saved by the keeper. But I mean, unlike the first goal that they scored, at least we weren't going to be punished for missing a chance and then conceding a minute later. Okay then, maybe we were. I mean, is this going to be a celebration in the new FIFA next year, maybe? Very few highlights happened after their goal, but Julian did find himself in the box, but scuffed his shot into the ground, and the keeper managed to push it away to safety. And at this point in the game, we were getting increasingly frustrated because chances were going astray against us. Geordie then left the camera running on me, so, I mean, at least we're keeping up with the action at the other end of the pitch. And as I also said in the intro, we didn't record the last 10 minutes of the game either. Fantastic. So we're going to try and summarise the last 10 minutes in 30 seconds. So their goalkeeper got sent off for handling outside the box after one of our strikers ran through and shot straight at him and he saved it with his hand. Then their right back had to go in goal, and with 2 minutes left on the clock I had to run up for the corner, and I think my presence in the box maybe startled them a little bit because they ended up giving away a penalty for handball after one of our strikers fired it into the defender. So then Chris managed to put it away to make it 2-2, and that was full time. And because the County Cup rules state that we have to go to a penalty shootout after 90 minutes, we went to a penalty shootout. So Chris stepped up to take the first penalty, of course, and he'd already scored 2 in the game, so if he had scored this one, he would essentially become the first player I've ever played with to score a hat-trick of penalties in a game. And he dispatched it coolly past the standing goalkeeper, and that made it 1-0 to us in the penalty shootout. Now, bear in mind, I've only ever played in one penalty shootout, and we won 4-1 on penalties, and I saved 2 of them. So, I mean, could history repeat itself? We don't know. So, the first penalty taker on their team was the number 14, and he was probably their man of the match. I mean, he just ran the show from start to finish, and we couldn't really get near him for most of the game. But, I mean, could I save his penalty? Well... So their first penalty was saved by me, and I was at full stretch going to my right hand side, and I maintained our 1-goal lead going into the second round of penalties. So next up was Miles, who came off the bench in the second half to make his debut for the team, and I mean, what a way to, you know, get your first goal sort of for the club. So their second penalty taker this time was right-footed, but I did have a feeling he would go the same way as his mate who took the first penalty, and unfortunately I couldn't get the save. But I mean, I did say to the referee on the side of the pitch that that was probably one of the best penalties that I've actually conceded. I mean, that is quite an honour, seeing that we don't concede that many penalties as a team anyway. Lawson then stepped up to take our third penalty, and he followed suit from the previous 2 and put it away to make it 3-1 to us on penalties, which meant that if I saved or they missed their next penalty, we only needed to score our 4th to win the penalty shootout. So it was probably the best time to turn into a penalty saving god again. Oh, and also, if you wanted to know another fun fact, I've now made more saves in this penalty shootout than Claudio Bravo has made in about 15 Premier League games. But it was left to Tyrone to win us the penalty shootout, and he duly did it by making it 4-1, and that sent us into the quarterfinals of the County Cup. But I mean, you know, I think the team all knew who the man of the match was. But let's hear the reasoning behind those 2 penalty saves.
Quality, mate. Absolute fucking quality.
Saves, bruv. Well done. Chrissy, mate.
Just guessing it.
You're going to be in the highlight package.
It's a guessing game. It's a guessing game. And hopefully that gives some inspiration to England goalkeepers out there that no matter how shit we are at penalties, you can still save us and win us a penalty shootout. But until next time, we'll be back again next week where we're in the quarterfinal of a different cup. I mean, quarterfinals everywhere at this rate.